Hello everyone, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mike.
And this is the Real Cine-Files. We're here again and we are back for our first full episode in, I want to say, almost a month. And we are so excited to be here with you. It's going to be a jam-packed episode. We've got a lot to discuss. Let me tell you what we're going to do. We are going to, well, first I want to introduce you to an exclusive. Mike doesn't even know about this. It's kind of a surprise. We're going to dedicate probably the first entire half of this episode to discussing the difference between and the proper times to use further and farther. Exactly. We figured that our audience would like an English and grammar lesson because everybody wonders, when should I use further and when should I use farther? I'll stop unless you want me to go further. Or is it farther?
Well, I wasn't good in language arts, so I wouldn't know.
Neither one of us know. We're not going to do that. I'm just pulling your leg. I'm just kidding. Let me tell you what we are going to do. We are going to get into a little bit of an icebreaker, some news. We got a lot to discuss on the news front that we think you'll find very intriguing as well. We are going to review and dive into and do a deep dive on the movie Strange Darling, which we just came from, and we have a lot to say about that. So we're going to discuss Strange Darling, and then we're going to talk a little bit about our favorite T.A.N.A.N.A films. T.A.N.A.N.A. That's an acronym for Things Are Not As They Appear. Yeah, I came up with that. T.A.N.A.N.A. Kind of rhymes with pinata and sonata. Shut up, Brandon. Anyway, it's just things are not as they appear, and it fits perfectly, conveniently, unexpectedly with the movie we just watched. And then we're after T.A.N.A.N.A, we're going to introduce a little bit of a new segment that Mike has come up with. It's going to be kind of there'll be more form to it in the future, but we're just kind of play around with it. It's just going to be a fun little game that we do, and it's going to be called Scenarios, and it's just one of those things where we take different bits and pieces. Scenes, set pieces from different films that it was a certain crazy set of circumstances or a situation, and we put ourselves in it and we ask, what would you do? So we're going to do that, and we're going to probably cap this sucker off with a little bit of 6 degrees, because it wouldn't be the Real Cine-Files if Brandon didn't show his R-worded nature. But Mike's got a little bit of it too. If you saw our last exclusive video explaining 6 degrees of cinematic celebrities, he did it himself. So he might have some of that weirdness in his brain too. You never know. Anyway, so without further ado, now that you know what to expect, let me go ahead and say this now, and we'll remind you at the end as well. Do not forget, please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, to our podcast, and share. We would really love your support. We'd appreciate you sharing it with people. And also, don't forget to hit that notification bell. If you don't hit the bell, you will not get notifications automatically every time we put new content out, new episodes. And we want you to be able to get that stuff, not have to search for it manually. So remember, like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell icon for sure. And we really appreciate that. So let's get into some news. Let me ask the first thing, and then, you were smart. You turned yours over. Yeah. I left mine open. You could have cheated. It's okay. I don't mind. I'll let it slide. Let me ask you this first, kind of unrelated, and y'all bear with us. We're going to dive into Strange Darling. You're not going to want to miss it for sure. So I listened to, I'm not a huge fan of the Paul brothers, I don't mind saying, on our channel.
Yeah.
I'm not against them. I'm just not huge fans. I will save all of my extremely aggressive opinions for another time off camera. But I did have to tune in when I saw this most recent episode of theirs. They had the great Iron Mike Tyson on the episode, and Iron Mike is fighting his brother, Logan Paul's brother, Jake Paul, as I'm sure many of you know. So I just wanted to see what your thoughts were on just the whole idea.
Well, I hope Iron Mike knock him out.
Oh, yes. Thank you for saying that.
I mean, is that tonight?
No, it's in, wait a second. No. I think it's in October. I think it's October the 19th. I may be mistaken. I'll find out. We're not a sports podcast anyway, so you don't hold us to that. But I don't think it's tonight. If it is, I'm totally getting on like YouTube after to see what happened.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I just like, so we share the same opinion. You would love to see him shut that guy up.
Yes.
Yeah. And look,
Please.
I'm not saying that he's just a YouTube boxer, like a YouTube, but I
He's
mean,
a YouTube box. He can't box. All them fights they've been fixed. I'm sorry.
it's your opinion. Okay.
They've been fixed.
Well, I mean, I was gonna at least give him enough respect to say that he's proven himself to at least be a little bit above a YouTube boxer. But you could be right about that, because some of those fights, they just looked like the people that he was fighting. They didn't seem like themselves.
What's your boy name? The comedian that you told me to watch, where he said everybody got a price that they'll sell out for.
Oh, I don't remember.
The black comedian, the Netflix.
Brian Simpson.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody do have a price that they'll sell out for. Somebody told me I pay you $5 million to get knocked out by, who was it, Jake Paul?
Yeah, Jake Paul.
I'll take it.
That's actually kind of gives an interesting spin.
I mean, and like the UFC paying anything, because a lot of those guys from UFC, they're not paying much.
Yeah,
So guarantee you $5 million, that's more than you ever made in your career.
that's true.
They get slept. I'll take it.
Yeah. I would get knocked out.
would too.
I'd take a potential concussion for that. I mean, shoot.
Shoot, they could have me on a cigarette pack. They'd be like, smoke that mic pack. But guess what? I'm paid.
That's good. Hey, seriously, that's true. That's a good point. So, I think I'm a little bit too hot in the mic. I'm noticing. I got to get back. Wait, no, that's better. Is that good? How do I sound, folks? I just noticed I was peaking a little bit. Yeah, so I'm going to be honest with you. I feel the same way. I know it's not a sports podcast, but I just had to comment on it. I will say this. Mike showed a lot of class, especially, I didn't listen to the whole thing, but especially in the beginning before they started doing shrooms on the podcast, which that made for some very interesting conversation. They were already talking about pigeons not being real birds, but being like robots by the CIA. Yeah.
Yeah, they was gone.
They were good.
They was high.
They were talking about dinosaurs, whether they existed or not, and why either one. It was crazy what they were talking about.
Yeah, I seen one thing. It said Mike Tyson said dinosaurs created drugs.
Yep. He was talking about it.
Yeah, they was gone.
They were.
They were gone.
I heard the part specifically where they were talking about the dinosaurs being responsible for meth, which is funny. I mean, that's hilarious. That whole idea is hilarious. But anyway, enough about that. I would like to see Mike. I would like to see Mike just be himself again. I know he's older. I think he's 58 now, and Jake's like 30 years younger than him or something like that. But still, I would love to see Mike just not only being Mike again, knocking fools out, but to just someone finally humble this guy. And that's all I'm going to say. So
did he lose to Floyd Mayweather, or was that his brother?
His brother. I thought his brother beat him, or was it a draw?
Ain't nobody beating Floyd.
No.
Mayweather.
I think it went the distance, but
Floyd Mayweather got the money. He's the money guy.
oh yeah, he is for sure.
Yeah, nobody beating him.
No, I wouldn't think so. He's amazing. And so anyway, we'll move past the sports. And do you want, before I get my next thing, do you have something news wise?
No.
Okay. Well, let me tell everybody and tell you. Did you know that the creator of did you ever watch any of the series Fargo on FX or Hulu?
No.
Ever watched any of them?
None of them.
Listen, I highly recommend those shows. They're very good. They are really good, even though standalone, existing as its own entity concept, such a great tribute to and homage to, the Coen brothers Fargo movie, even though it went way beyond that, and it's their own standalone anthological stories.
So
and
should I watch the movie first?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You would. I will say this: you don't need to watch the movie to understand the shows at all. But I highly recommend you watch the movie because it will give you kind of a baseline to kind of understand the series even better.
Okay.
Like as far as the style of the series, like the feel of it, the vibe, because it's got its own distinct personality, the way that he did it, and I think if you watch the movie first, it'll be It'll feed a lot into that, into what your opinion is and how you kind of settle in to watch it and how you perceive it. So anyway, that's not even what I want to talk about. Noah Hawley is the creator of the series, and he is also the creator and the person behind, finally, an Alien series. Did you know that?
We talking about like xenomorphs?
Yeah. We're talking about
A TV show?
We're talking about a TV show called Alien: Earth. I'm not kidding you. When I found this out this week, and I am so excited. I am so excited. And listen, when you watch just a little bit of Fargo to see this guy's style, you will be even more excited that he's the one making the Alien series.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm excited. It's called Alien Earth. The showrunner and creator, Noah Hawley, and it's set after the events of Prometheus, but before the events of the first Alien. So it's going to take place somewhere between Prometheus and Alien Covenant and Alien 1. So it's going to give us from what I can surmise, it's going to give us kind of a little bit more of the mythology and the origin of the xenomorphs. I think it's going to focus on a lot of that, which that excites me because everybody's always wondered fully how exactly with true form and not anything left up to abstract and interpretations, like where did they really come from? Like, how did they form? What about the substances that are related to them and their creations? There's been a lot of speculation about that. And I think that this series is aiming at answering that. So
I'm not really a fan of that.
You're not really a fan of what?
Of the creation of the alien. Just give me an alien hunting people.
Well, no, that's going to be a part of it too. You don't want to know their origin? Who are you, Mike Griffin?
They've been doing too much and they just been messing it up.
Dude,
Prometheus, I really wasn't a big fan. Man.
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you this right now. You went into it, when you went into Prometheus the same way I did the first time I viewed it, and that is ignorantly. And I mean that. I'm insulting myself in the same way. If you know what's going on, you will come to appreciate it even more. Like, I swear. And we won't get into it in this episode. I don't want to take up too much time. But we didn't get to, honestly, guys and gals, we did not get to do our Alien episode. So it's okay that we're talking about Alien a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But I really think if you understood the context around Prometheus a little bit more, and you said you haven't seen Alien Covenant?
I had watched Covenant, and then it was like the robot. He was doing experiments, and he was enhancing them. It's like, oh my God, like just get away from this.
It was crazy.
Please.
Well, from what I hear though, and what I've gathered is that originally Ridley Scott was planning on doing a David trilogy, where it was going to be the focus on David and who he is and like his experiments and how that like kind of connects to the xenomorphs and their destiny or what was later to come in the other installments, and I guess that never happened. And then so then we ended up with Alien Romulus, which was just a kind of a different concept altogether, but we did enjoy that. So anyway, Alien Earth TV series, definitely intrigued by the idea, aren't you?
If they do it right, I can be excited if they do it right.
Yeah, we'll just come at it with an honest. I'm going to give this a chance. I love the Alien series, so because I'm a fan, I'm going to come into this and I'm going to watch it with eyes wide open.
I'm gonna give it a chance.
Yeah, I mean
that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, don't come at it doom and gloom.
I'm not gonna be negative. I'm gonna just say, I just hope they do it right.
I do too,
because I mean they did a good Chucky series, I heard, so I'm pretty sure they can do a good Alien series.
Yeah, this is true. Well, do yourself a favor then, and this might affect the way that you think you might perceive Alien Earth, and watch one of the Fargo series.
Okay.
I mean they're all decent. But some of them are excellent. I would start at season 1. I really loved season 3. Season 3 was probably my favorite. anyway, but yeah, just watch one of them. You'll get a feel for Noah Hawley, and you'll kind of come to know what to expect. So anyway, that's cool. Alien Earth, that's news. Just letting everybody know. Also, True Detective season 5. True Detective, one of my favorite crime and mystery and suspense and detective because it's in the title type series ever. It's great. I think I've been telling you that would be something you'd really enjoy.
I thought you said NCIS was your favorite detective.
Oh, don't even get me started. Oh my gosh. Nope. No NCIS. I'm telling y'all right now. No NCIS. Don't come at me with no NCIS. No CSI. No Criminal Minds. No Law and Order, especially. I know you love them.
Is
I
that
know you
one
love
with
them.
like Ice-T on it, right?
Yep. I think he's SVI or Criminal Intent. I don't remember which one. There's so many of them. But anyway, that was a good little plug there. But yeah, no, True Detective, that kind of series is my thing. Fantastic series. You're missing out. Definitely watch the first one. The first one was phenomenal.
Apple TV?
No, it's on Max.
Okay.
All of them are on Max.
All right.
But season it got renewed for another season. Issa Lopez did season 4 with Jodie Foster and Kylie Reese or Kylie. I can't remember her last name. Forgive me, everyone. But it was a phenomenal show. I mean, I think it got the highest like ratings of viewership of any of the series, and I think of television and streaming series period during the time that it was airing, or streaming. So I'm super excited about season 5. Issa Lopez did season 4, so she's the one that's going to be doing season 5 as well, and that's exciting. Also, you speaking of Apple, Slow Horses. I told you about this series as well. I want you to get on that. It is fantastic. It is a British MI6 sort of series. It's kind of like about the misfits who didn't quite make the cut or wouldn't follow by the rules in MI6. So they're kind of a branch of it, like the misfit crew that MI6 doesn't want to claim.
Was it like secret agents, maybe?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You'll like it, man. It's really good, and it's been good, consistent and reliable. They release a new season the same time every year. You can count on it, and that's what's so great. And season 4 is going to be hitting Apple TV. The first episode. What do I have? Yeah, season 4 on September the 4th. That's exciting. I'm super stoked about that. Also on Apple, gotta let you know and let everybody, all our fans and audience know, the Vince Vaughn series that's on there, Bad Monkey. Oh man, it's so good. I love it.
What's it about?
It's about a bad monkey. No, I'm just kidding. There is a monkey in it, which I love. Anything with this kind of monkey in it. I can't remember this particular species of monkey or breed of monkey or whatever, but
It's like a chimp, maybe?
yeah, the really smart one. You know the one that was in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies?
Oh, one of those small monkeys.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that's like got a lot of personality and seems like it's really smart or whatever. It's in that, and
They just call it a circus monkey.
yeah, circus type monkey, but it's a detective series too.
Okay.
But it's a comedic one, and it's Vince Vaughn, with his particular shtick, and him doing his thing, and it's just clever, dry wit, sarcasm. Just he's brilliant in it, and it's just great. The story's great, and you got to check it out. You folks at home, if you got Apple TV, check it out. Vince Vaughn in Bad Monkey. It's a good time, a lot of laughs as well. Now, right before we get into the Strange Darling, I gotta ask, have you heard the news about the Salem's Lot remake?
Salem's Lot. Well, that sounds familiar.
Oh my gosh. Listen, it is... Oh my God. I just had a hilarious thought. Oh my God, I'm wondering if my friend Dan was watching this episode. Oh my God, I just had a hilarious thought.
Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot. Okay, listen, it is the quintessential vampire flick. It was amazing. It came out, I think the first one came out, I think in the late 70s, early 80s. I'm slipping in my film knowledge. I'm usually on top of it. All I know is I remember that movie. This is a callback to our first episode. You remember me telling you the story of how horror movies in my life? Yeah, that was the movie that they were watching when I was like 3 or 4 years old, walking through the room. I think my mom and my godmother were watching it. Maybe my sister, Dory. I don't know if you were watching it or not. But just so you know, you need to know this happened to me. And I was forever scarred. It's probably why I have such a sick, perverted love for horror. I have a bloodlust. Okay, I'm going to stop. No, but I was walking through, and I'll never forget that image of that freaky-looking Nosferatu-esque vampire coming out of the casket.
Okay.
Oh, my God. So scary. It was forever branded in my mind. Anyway, the movie later in life, after I was past my trauma, I watched it, the whole thing, and it's a good time. It's a good horror movie, especially a good vampire movie. So there's been talk for years about a remake of it or a reboot. Well, they're finally doing it.
I thought is that the one we seen the trailer for?
I haven't seen a trailer for it at all.
The one you was telling me about where...
You're talking about Nosferatu itself.
Okay.
No, they're remaking that too.
Okay.
No, but this is actually a remake of Salem's Lot 2. And here's the best part. It is going to be an instant streaming release. It's going to be instantly streaming released on Max. And I believe I have the date. In October. I don't have the day yet. But in October this year, 2024, the Salem's Lot remake. It's already got Stephen King's seal of approval. He's already watched it, and I think he posted on X about it, if I'm not mistaken. But he did say that he loved it. So Stephen King, he's a horror genius. So I listen to a lot of his opinions. So I'm excited about that. Just to let y'all know, don't miss it. Salem's Lot remake in October of this year. What I was laughing at was they did. I'm sorry. They did a sequel. Of it. And it was so horrible. It was so terrible. Oh my God. And me and my friend Dan watched it when we were in high school.
Yeah, sequels I ain't gonna say sequels always bad, but I think one of the best vampire movies I've seen, 1 and 2 was good, was Fright Night.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Both of them was good.
Yeah, they were good.
Awesome.
They were good. The remake was really good too. I liked it. They were both fantastic. I'm with you on that. But I was laughing hard about it because I can remember us watching that episode, Salem's Lot 2, the sequel. And because you're right. It's hit or miss with sequels.
Yeah,
but especially
always.
with horror. If you don't do the horror right, or if you don't have some of the original, minds and creators, the talent behind the original standalones, if you don't have that behind the sequels, that force behind the sequels, many times they fall flat. I've noticed. It doesn't have to be that way, but it many times it is. Don't you think?
Yeah, like Halloween, Season of the Witch.
Oh, yes. Exactly. We were knocking that in the first episode. Oh my God, that was exactly. That's a perfect example, Mike. But anyway, we were watching it, and there was a part in it, and this is just for you, Dan. I'm doing it on the show just for you. I hope I'm not doing it in vain. There's a part in the movie, and we've been doing it for years as an inside joke. But all I'm going to say is, close the lid before I burn. Oh my God. And then there was this scene where one of the old man is running from somebody or a vampire or whatever. I don't even remember, but he falls. He falls in a field, and it was probably one of the most horrible, butchered movie on-screen falls in all of history, in the history of film. It was so terrible. We were actually mocking it and recreating the fall ourselves while we were making fun of the movie. Oh my God. It was hilarious, let me tell you. I don't know why I am extra hot tonight on this mic. I'm going to turn myself down. I think I'm hearing you still pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're coming in
really
good.
good.
I'm going to turn myself down
Yeah,
just
but
a
yours
tad.
like high.
Yeah, I'm
See it
peaking. Sorry, folks, if the first part of this was a little bit too hot. I turned me down just a tad, so should be okay. So that was it on that. And last little bit of news. I know we took a little bit longer than we thought we would on news, but hopefully it was worth it to you guys. And this is definitely not for everybody. I can tell you right now. I wouldn't recommend this to family, and maybe even not all friends. But Terrifier 3, the much anticipated third installment in the Terrifier series from Damien Leone.
Haven't seen the first one.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a horror fan, you got to give it a try. But it is the epitome of body and splatterhouse horror. It is, oh my gosh.
So what is it like? Is it a slasher? Or is it like
Saw? It's the kind of the epitome of like insane killer clown horror. There's a clown named Art the Clown. They kind of, in the second one, they kind of focused more on the paranormal and supernatural, the demonic side of his origins and how he ties in with one or two of the victims. But the story's pretty cool. But what really drives the movies is the gore. I'm telling you right now, it's unmitigated, uncontrolled, graphic, gratuitous violence and gore. Like, they do things in this. You got to give them credit. I mean, I have to give them credit for just, the cosmetics, the visual effects that they do to create the horror in this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's disturbing. It's very disturbing. But you need to give it a shot if you're a horror fan. It may not be your thing. I'll tell you right now, 1 was bad enough, but 2, I wouldn't watch 2 if you have a weak stomach. I would not watch 2 if you've eaten anything.
Well, I had watched Hatchet, all the Hatchet, so I'm pretty sure I can handle it.
Okay, all right. Well, dude,
because you know how that movie is.
Yes, I do. I give it a shot. Honestly, it's at least entertaining. I mean, if nothing else, it's a superb. It's a superb execution of shock value, shock and awe all day long. Oh my gosh. So Terrifier 3, I'll be watching it. Hopefully my cousin's seeing this video. If you didn't know, look out for it. Ashley, Terrifier 3. And it's October 11th. So.
Yeah, I probably start watching horror movies around October, so I probably watch it during then.
Perfect time. And we may, I don't know, we may do something on here about it. Maybe not. It's probably not going to be the right podcast for that. Maybe it is. I don't know. We'll see how number 3 is. But good idea. Watch 1 and 2 in October. Start that then. That's a great idea. Okay. Now, the last bit of news, which will lead us into hopefully a brief but engaging. I mean, I'm just going to say it. It's a downright important conversation that will lead us into. This will lead us into. So let me just say this. I just found out. I'm sure I could have known for a while, but I guess I was, oblivious or aloof. But Dennis Quaid, if you didn't know, is playing Ronald Reagan in an upcoming biopic called Reagan. Called Reagan. It fits, doesn't it? Did you know that? I didn't know that. And it's actually coming out, I think it's coming out this month.
See, as soon as you mentioned the president, it kind of messed my mind up with that trailer we seen in the movies. The Abraham Lincoln thing.
Oh, man, that's terrible. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, we're not going to comment on that further, but you'll know what we're talking about. The trailer, I'm just going to say that they're tarnishing some history. Golly, man, golly. Anyway, so let me... Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. I've never seen... No one's ever, that I know of, tried to do a Reagan maybe they did documentaries, but I've never seen a Reagan biopic. And I think they picked the right guy. I think Dennis Quaid would be good as Ronald Reagan. Can't you kind of see that?
Well, I got to see the actor first.
You know who Dennis Quaid is? Jesus. Lord help me.
I'm the person that knows faces.
That's right. You know faces. I'm the weirdo with names. I'm sorry. I can't judge Mike on that.
Jesus.
But yeah. Okay. I'm gonna show you real quick just so you can see, because you need to see.
I didn't even know Ronald Reagan was an actor.
You didn't know that? Yeah, he was an actor, which makes it even more fitting that someone is acting as him.
Yeah, I know who this is.
Yeah. Seen him in tons of movies, right?
Yeah, he'd be perfect.
Yeah, great, right? Good.
Yeah.
Got the look for it and everything.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. If you didn't know Dennis Quaid, then I'm assuming you probably don't know his son, Jack Quaid, do you?
Told you I only know faces.
Well, you'll appreciate this. Guess who Jack Quaid is? Jack Quaid plays Huey in The Boys, one of our favorite series.
Oh, they do look alike.
Right? See
Yeah.
the similarity?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I have to ask. And I hope we don't lose followers for this, especially my opinions on it. But what are your thoughts? I know I'm kind of springing this on you. We didn't have a talk beforehand, but I got to ask you, what are your thoughts about nepo-babies?
Nepo-baby?
Okay, you haven't heard the term?
No, I never heard
Okay,
of that.
well, you know the term nepotism, right? Okay, nepotism, when you like a family member gets a job with a family member or because of a family member,
Yeah.
that's nepotism.
Okay.
There's actually laws against like nepotism if you're going to get a job in the state of Florida or in government. I'm not sure how, loose those laws are now or how firmly they're executed, but it's a law because, as you can imagine, it's a conflict of interests.
Yeah.
Right? And it's many would argue it's unfair.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. That's like my brother was telling me, since he got if he got a job, I think, with a bank or something like that, a government job with some type of bank, I wouldn't be able to trade stocks.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That's
Yeah.
the nepotism thing. Okay, wow. Yeah, that's a good example. So there's been a lot of talk, especially over the past few years, about nepo babies in Hollywood. That's what they call them, nepo babies.
Okay.
Just celebrities that are now famous, especially younger celebrities that are now famous. I mean, I don't want to say, well, I'm not going to say because of, that's what I want to comment on, but they are famous and they are also famously children of other famous people, typically in Hollywood and in acting. And so I don't know why it looks like I'm peaking so much, but I sound okay in the headphones, don't I?
Yeah, they sound good.
Yeah, okay. I'm overjudging myself. Sorry, you guys, for the technical distraction. So, okay, so I wanted to get your opinion on it in Hollywood. Okay, let me tell you this before we get into it. This may take 5 minutes, but I think it's worth it. Okay, because I'm intrigued by this subject. Because I've looked into it because I'm going to be honest with you. I have had, as of late, a very strong opinion against it. Okay, but then I found out there are so many freaking nepo babies in Hollywood. Some of our favorite actors, some of the best actors and actresses of recent past and even previous generations were nepo babies. They're nepo babies. Check it out. Let me give you this. George Clooney, nephew of Rosemary Clooney, famous iconic actress in the 50s. Bridget Fonda, I'm sure you've heard of Peter Fonda and Jane Fonda. Okay, Bridget Fonda, Ben Stiller, son of Jerry Stiller, Gwyneth Paltrow, Drew Barrymore, Kate Hudson, and one of our favorites, even Nicolas Cage.
Well,
Did you?
Nicolas Cage can act, though.
Well,
I love his crazy stuff.
well, no, it's not even about the talent here. It's not even about the talent here. The talent's great. That's why there's a conflict that I have. And I just wanted to get your opinions on it. I really want you to think about this. And here's the thing I will say about Nicolas Cage. Yeah, he's a great actor. I love him. My opinion hasn't changed. And I actually give him credit because he changed his name. That's not even his name. He's of the, I'm sure you've heard of Francis Ford Coppola. You've heard of Sofia Coppola, Francis Ford Coppola, the Godfather, Mike. Folks, just throw a rock at him. Okay, so he's a Coppola. That's a big name in Hollywood.
Okay.
He didn't make it on that name. He made it on his own name, and I love that. He changed his name. He was a champion of his own, making his own brand and having his own career. And I'm not saying that he didn't also get a leg up because of being a child of a family of, famous people. I'm sure it did, but I'm a little bit more forgiving of him, not just because of his acting chops, but because he did it on his own name. You know what I mean?
Now, my opinion on that would be, I ain't going to say they cheated, but I'm going to just say they had an unfair advantage.
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm coming from with this whole thing. And that's what I wanted to tell you. Look, like all these, this is the new generation. It's even more now. It's even worse now. Like, listen to this. Maude Apatow, from, Judd Apatow and Leslie Mann, Zoe Kravitz, Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz, right? You got Jonathan David Washington, Dakota Johnson, Zoe Deutsch, Maya Hawke, Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's daughter, Lily Rose Depp. I know you know who that's. Yeah. Emma Roberts, Wyatt Russell from Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
These are all younger actors that have. I mean, and the thing about it is, they're all very talented, and that's the whole thing. And I support them. I watch their movies. I enjoy their content. I enjoy their art. But here's the thing. Would we? Is it possible that the movies that we're seeing now, if the nepotism thing was like really enforced in Hollywood, would we be seeing different faces with maybe equally or possibly in some cases even better ability and talent? That's what I'm wondering. Would the landscape of film look totally different if nepo babies didn't own that corner? Just think about it. Because here's the thing. This is my thing. I'm not saying, and many of them, their argument is, well, we may have gotten our foot in the door, but you have to have talent at that point to get the part. But that's not my argument. My argument's not about the talent. My argument is this. They're getting a chance that another person won't get. Think about that. They're going to get a chance that another person, maybe an average Joe, a person that's not a child of famous parents, like they're getting a chance that other people are not going to get. They are getting it. It's exactly what you said, an unfair advantage. And my fear, and this is why I am kind of conflicted, is that it's at the expense of another person's opportunity who's not a nepo baby. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And so I don't know, man. I'm a little troubled by it. And I think I'm troubled by it because I'm in conflict over it, because I actually, like the majority of these people, I enjoy what they do. I mean, some of them got real serious chops, especially some of these younger ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Since they grew up, doing
that,
all their life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, they just the best at it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Versus somebody who may got into it later in life.
That's true.
So that's what I mean by
that's a good point. Yeah,
because they've been doing it all their life. So.
They've been on the inside. They've been on the inside looking out rather than the majority being on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been able to study it and really master the craft.
I know most people may hate me for saying this. I'm gonna just say they more quality actors, and everybody else who haven't been doing, they're more quantity.
That's good.
I feel like they're not going to be as good as these people because they've been doing it all their life.
Yeah.
So if you switch the roles around, okay, you can't do the nepo baby thing, and you put these other actors in who never, been acting all their life, I don't think the movies be as good or shows.
That's a really good point, Mike. Well, see, honestly, that's why I brought this up, because I wanted to talk to you about it. I wanted to see your opinion on it. I wanted to see if there was something I was missing. And that's actually a good point. That's actually a really good point. Man. That's given me a lot to think about, actually. But I thought you might find this interesting, just the whole nepo babies thing.
Yeah, because, I mean, you could take, for example, that people that play sports.
Yeah.
And those who, just take LeBron James, for example. His son ain't that good, but you can call him a nepo baby because, I guess his dad begged for him to play for the Lakers.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, you could see the nepo baby thing in sports as well, and in music. Yeah. It's in music.
But my whole point is usually when your parents in the profession, you're going to end up picking that up most of the time.
That's true. That is true.
Especially when they're celebrities and stuff. So.
Man, that's a good point. Man, wow. This is an illuminating portion to talk about, man.
I'm just trying to be fair.
No, it's true. It's true. We got. There's always a balance to these things. So, but it's a lot to consider. I mean, it is a fact. The unfair advantage is a fact.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, I was kind of, I guess, maybe a little bit reactionary and immature in my first initial impulsive, like response, and I'm thinking, you know what, they're just copying their parents. They're just doing this and that. Why don't they go try and do something else? Really show, why not do something different that's not riding on the coattails of your parents, And I thought about that, and maybe I'm right a little bit to that, but the truth is that I'm trying to think about myself, put myself in that situation. If I had all these opportunities plunged at me, if I watched my mom and dad grow up acting, and I grew up, very fortunate, silver spoon, not in want for anything, and it seemed like a very seamless, transition into that as my career choice, what I want to do with my life. I'd probably do it too.
Well, I ain't gonna say it was a career choice. It was probably like, you got to do it. See what I'm saying? Especially you live in like being
the
a
pressure,
celebrity.
you mean?
Yeah, being a celebrity. Your parents be like,
carry on the legacy. Carry on the legacy.
Exactly.
Wow. I bet that dynamic comes into play a lot. Yeah. Actually, that's really good, man. I knew this was going to be good. I knew that Mike was the one to talk to about this. Anyway, because there's always more. There's always more to the story, more to the case, and you're not looking at every angle of it. So, anyway, nepo baby thing. I am curious. I honestly, we'd love to hear what y'all's opinion is at home. And this, don't worry, this episode may be longer. We're talking about a lot of stuff. We are, and we're enjoying it. Well, I told you it was going to be cram full. We've been gone for a while. We've got a lot to talk about. So, I'm cool with this being a longer episode. I'm sure you are too.
Yeah. And I'm not hating on people that work hard to become actors, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them out there. It's probably more people who work hard to be actor than nepo babies, whatever you call
That is true. That is true. I can see that too. Man, wow. Yeah, well, that was fun. I'm glad we actually spent the time to talk about that. We'll talk. We might circle back to that at a later time for sure. But what I was going to say, and I'm sure Mike would agree, we would love to hear your comments on this. We'd love to hear how you feel about it, your opinions at home. When you're watching this, drop it in the comments. Like, let us know what you think. What's your opinion of the nepo babies thing? We'll respond for sure. We love to hear from you. Anyway, so, well, you know what's up now. You know what's up now. Without further ado, folks, we're diving into Olympic reference. I'm sorry, enough, Brandon. I'm feeling my weird self too much. So, Strange Darling is the name of the movie. We just watched it. We're going to tell you all about it here in a minute. We are going to have a non-spoiler portion of this talk, right, Mike? And then we will let you guys know when it's going to be spoiler territory. There will be an alarm. There could be even an air horn. You'll just have to see. Can I do that? I don't know. Maybe I can, maybe I can't.
We could set a timer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It'll make that sound. We can hold it up to the thing. I don't know. I got some stuff I can do on the...
All right.
Which will be... I want to make them jump when they're watching this segment. So anyway, I just want to remind everybody, if you did not catch it in the trailer, okay, or if you didn't catch it in my previous other weirdly, strangely video where I talked about Mike being stuck on that alien wall, which he's not anymore. He's back. It was a real event, folks. Don't take it lightly. Don't laugh at us. Don't laugh at him. He's hiding it well, but he's still got some trauma. Trauma. It's the word of the decade. Anyway, but in that video, if you just for those that did not watch it, okay, I'm going to cover this again. We have a very advanced rating system, right, Mike? Very advanced. You've never heard of it before, okay? So we want to, we don't want you to be, in uncharted territory. We want you to understand our language, okay? Here at the Real Cine-Files, it's very important to us. We want to be adept in our ability to articulate and communicate with you the way that we understand, study, and dissect things. So it's an advanced rating system. It's called on a scale of 1 to 10. So I know you never heard of it before, but
we can make it lame and be like, 1 out of 10 reels.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I may have enough of these. We could really do that. Okay. I just made the weirdest face. I don't even want to see it on playback. Yeah. So anyway, we're just joking. Until we come up with a more, cutting edge rating system, we're going to stick to 1 to 10. So let me tell you about this, okay? Strange Darling. Also, another film that came out this weekend that we will end up seeing. We encourage you to go see it. We've heard good things. Is Blink Twice. We went and saw the lesser known, lesser marketed movie, but which you could tell is going to be an instant cult horror classic. We went and saw that. But we do encourage you to check out Blink Twice. We're looking forward to seeing that too. We may not dedicate an episode to reviewing it, but we might mention it in our future episodes or future content. So let me tell you about this one. This is Strange Darling, written and directed by J.T. Molnar. It stars Willa Fitzgerald. She's kind of a newcomer and a rising star. And listen, after this performance, I'd say she's rising, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
I mean, amazing performance. So stars Willa Fitzgerald. You may know her from Reacher Season 1, Fall of the House of Usher. You can find Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix, and Reacher, of course, is on Prime Video. Amazing series, by the way. I'm digressing. Also, Kyle Gallner. He's been in a ton of movies, but he's never really been kind of like lead role status. But Kyle Gallner's been in a ton of movies, and so as a supporting actor. He was in Scream 5, The Passenger, Jennifer's Body, Dear White People. That was a movie, man. I actually enjoyed it, but very much a social commentary. A lot of facts in there. I'm not gonna get on that, but some extremism as well. But it was a good movie. He was also from the series Outsiders. That was an FX series. I believe it was FX or AMC. I don't remember. Also, the classic actress Barbara Hershey of Beaches. She was in this movie as well. Beaches, I'll never forget it because it was like my mom's and my godmother's favorite movie. This tragic like story of a friend dying, and they owned it on VHS and like had the freaking thing on repeat all the time. That's how I know Barbara Hershey. Tell you that. And Who's Yours, Falling Down, The Natural. Anyway, she's been in a bunch. Okay, also Ed Begley Jr., he was in it as well. So that's who stars in it. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be a very brief synopsis, okay? The movie is told in 6 chapters, and nothing is as it appears. When a twisted one-night stand spirals into a serial killer's vicious murder spree. Okay? It's vague for a reason, and I'm going to give everybody at home, and hopefully Mike will back me up on this. I'm going to give everybody at home, if you see this movie, and I personally recommend you see this movie if you're a horror fan, especially like a suspense, thriller, psychological horror fan. If you see this, the less you know, the better, okay? Because you won't want it spoiled. Would you agree, Mike?
Yeah, you don't want to spoil.
The spoiler is what makes the what is it that what's that phrase? It makes is the juice worth the squeeze? Is that what it is? Yeah, the juice worth the squeeze. Yeah, I got it right. I don't know all those euphemisms and whatnot.
I never heard nobody use it like that, but yeah.
Really? It may not apply here. It probably doesn't, but I'm using it anyway. The juice is worth the squeeze when it comes to not spoiling it, like leaving yourself unspoiled, okay? I don't want to ruin it for you. That's why we're going to give you a spoiler warning before we get into that part of the conversation. So I'm being vague for a reason, okay? But, so I tell you, do not cheat. If you want the great payoff, and it is a pretty good payoff, you do not want to spoil it for yourself. Don't watch videos. Don't look at articles. Don't do it. Read a headline or two. That's fine. But don't break the law here. Don't break the law, the cinematic law. Anyway, so we're going to talk about it generally, and then we're going to get into spoiler territory. So let me ask, first of all, Mike, did you enjoy the movie?
Yes, I really enjoyed this movie. Really did.
I did as well. And you didn't really know, how it was going to turn out, or really fully where it was going in the beginning. And the pace, initially, it seemed strange to me, but I could tell, I had a feeling they were pacing it that way for a reason. And then before you know it, once you get a couple chapters in, you realize that pacing works for the style of the movie.
Yeah, because it's kind of like they started in the middle. Because it was like chapter 3. They started at chapter 3.
Man,
So they
yeah, they did. Started in 3, then they jumped to 5, then they went to 1, then they did 4, then they did 2, then they did 6.
Yeah, and then they did
and that's not really so much a spoiler, but let me tell you, they do. What was the last thing you said?
Oh, they did the epilogue.
Yeah, the epilogue as well. And listen, I'm going to tell you, it was brilliant, the out of order chapters.
Yes.
I mean, they did it that way for a reason. At first I was like, what? But I mean, it was phenomenal. And then the scenes, the scenes were so carefully crafted and well knit together that even though it had a slow aspect in some of the scenes, you could tell that the suspense was building. And did you hear how quiet it was when it was during those slow parts? It was so unboring for slow parts. It's like you were engaged.
Yeah, because you the whole time you're trying to figure out, okay, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Like,
where is this going?
Yeah.
And you were so captivated. And especially they both did great, but her, man, she stole the show. I was watching her, and it didn't matter. Everything that she was doing had me just like, yeah, I'm in. I'm bought into this.
Her acting was like 10 out of 10.
It really was. She was 100% 10 out of 10. Willa Fitzgerald, she's got a great future. I hope she's not a nepo baby. Just kidding. It's fine if she is. But no, she was phenomenal. Her acting was superb, and she fit the role just perfectly. And so I'm not going to get too much into it. We're going to let you know about the spoiler part first, but without spoiling it, I guess maybe it's hard to spoil it. But we before we give anything major that's a plot giveaway, we'll announce it. So without spoiling, what would you say was your favorite parts of it? What did you like about it? We kind of just discussed that a little bit, but curious if you got anything.
Can I spoil it?
Well, okay, we're gonna have to get into spoilers. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you right now. But before we do, I'm gonna say this. This is just okay. Look, there's a breakfast sequence that is just, oh my gosh, it is so great. I'm just gonna say this before we announce that spoilers are coming, that this movie does have mountain people / hippies in it, and they are quite interesting.
/ biker.
Yeah, / biker. It was important to him to emphasize / biker. That was great. Oh my gosh.
You said we were hippies, but I was also a biker before I did this.
That's great. That was great.
/ doomsday preppers.
Oh man, that was so great. You're right. Oh my gosh. Doomsday. There were doomsdayers for sure. That was great. So it's honestly, folks, at this point, we'll tell you this, okay? Without giving it away, and we're going to announce that we're going to get into spoiler territory after this. We're going to go ahead and tell you this. We'll give you our rating, and we're going to tell you right now, I know that we both recommend that you go see it, right, Mike?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, definitely go see it. It's phenomenal. It is a really good movie. If you're looking for originality, it's got that. If you are sick of the same overcooked, played out horror movie tropes, this movie is for you. This is not trope-tastic at all. It is completely fantastic, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
And it's refreshing. Originality, completely. It's different. I don't think. There's been horror movies with twists in it before, but they've not done this before. I don't think. I mean,
Well, it kind of remind me of Long Legs, though.
Yeah.
Not in the same way, but like the twist.
the twist, honestly, and that's why Long Legs is still doing so great. We were talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
Long Legs. If you guys haven't seen that, that was the first episode that we covered Long Legs in our first episode ever of the Real Cine-Files, and it was a phenomenal, great choice to start this, podcast out with. And you're right, Mike. It had that. Like,
Yes.
it had a twist, and we're not going to tell you.
And
We're not going to tell you the
build,
twist.
just the build up. Just the build
The
up
build
to
up,
the twist
yeah.
is like, man, we got to talk about these spoilers, man.
Yeah, we're going to
We
get into
gotta get
spoilers
into
right
that.
now. Okay, so we told you right now. We recommend it. We recommend you go see Strange Darling. Mike, what's your rating?
Man, I give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay. I'm going to say... I'm not going to give you one of my strange numbers this time. I know that you're begging for it. I can feel it coming through
You give
the
us strange.
feed. Okay. Yeah, it calls for a strange one. I'm going to give it an 8.632. Yeah, that's it right there. Listen, it's a good movie. Go see it. Okay. So now you'll probably see it on the screen. You may hear it if you're listening on Spotify. By the way, check out our Spotify channel if you get a chance. But, spoiler warning. There's going to be something playing there, I swear. Anyway, so, listen. If you do not want this spoiled, please leave now. But don't stay gone long. Come back. Come back after you've watched the movie, okay? Is it a deal? It's a deal. Look. Don't leave angry, okay? Just leave. I'm just kidding. Seriously, check out if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want it spoiled. Please.
Oh, so we're getting into spoilers now?
We're getting into spoilers. All right.
So,
Go ahead.
like, when the movie first started off, it was kind of like, one of them WTF moments because she was running, her mouth open and stuff.
It was.
And then you get to that first act and, a guy chasing her with a gun. So
Yeah.
he was like, okay.
It seems obvious.
Yeah, like this guy's a
He's a
serial
killer.
killer.
Yeah.
He's like, he's a psycho.
Yeah.
And the more and more it gets into the movie, you be like, okay, it's something up. This lady's strange.
Yeah, she's very strange. Like from the dating scene, the one night stand.
Yeah.
All her behavior there.
And the whole time they was baiting you like, yeah, this guy's a serial killer.
Yeah.
'Cause she was asking them questions. She was like, well,
Yeah.
with women, when they, get with guys and stuff.
They have to think about that, yeah.
And she was like, are you a serial killer? He was like, I'm not a serial killer.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
they showed a gun under the seat.
Exactly.
And
They baited you the whole way.
Yeah, and I was like, this guy's a serial killer.
Absolutely. And we're so focused, even though we're captivated by her performance, we're so focused on that idea. We're watching him to see his serial killer turn.
Yeah.
And we're like, he's not really showing any signs. What's going on here?
Yeah, like when they get in the hotel, they emphasize more of him being a serial killer because we see him choking her.
Yeah.
But it was like role playing.
Exactly. That was crazy, man.
And then it just got weirder and weirder. She was like, well, when I'm handcuffing you, choking me, when I say no means yes.
Right. And then the only
word was
Mr. Snuffleupagus. That was a great thing. Call back to Sesame Street. Let me tell you, that was great. Mr. Snuffleupagus is the safe word. That was great. That alone is original.
So it started getting weirder and weirder. And once it got to the point with the cocaine and all that, I was like, okay, she's trying to roll him. She's trying to rob this guy.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, it's something wrong with her.
Something's up with her, but you still didn't know. But then, go ahead. You keep going.
Yeah,
You're doing
because
good.
I was thinking like, okay, maybe he after her because she tried to rob him.
Right.
But then it get weirder and weirder.
Yeah. And then it flashes back. It goes back to chapter 4.
Yeah.
With the mountain people. She went there for help. Let's help this. What's funny is what the Barbara Hershey character said initially was right. That's a crazy lady. It's a crazy lady outside. But he's like, we have to help her. And
You sure you got a guy chasing you? You sure it wasn't the Squatch?
that was great.
Squatch?
You could tell they were doomsdayers and conspiracy theorists because they said if you don't go out there or whatever, if you go too far in the woods, that's where the Squatches are. The Sasquatch. Oh, I loved that part. That was so great, man. And I'm sorry, man. I mean, the rat tail, that was hilarious. I mean, Ed Begley Jr. had a rat tail. I mean, that was great. I know you want to call it a ponytail, but because it was longer than a typical rat tail. But look, it's a rat tail. It was thin. It was braided. It was a rat tail. Especially, it was just funny. Anyway, so and then the breakfast they made, that was great. But so to continue with your summarizing, then when they got to the part where, she's like, you knew it was even more. The plot thickened when she said, "No, do me this favor, no police."
Yeah.
You're like, you're thinking, well, what the F? I mean, what the hell? You're being chased by a serial killer. Why don't you want the police?
Yeah, it's like you're innocent. Like,
yeah, what's going on? And then it shows the Barbara Hershey character coming down the stairs, right? She was coming downstairs, right? Or coming in the other room.
oh, she was in the bathroom getting a Percocet.
That's right. He said, "You want something stronger? How about some Percocet?" She said, "You want some aspirin?" He said, "How about something stronger? You want some Percocet?" That was funny. So she comes back from the bathroom from getting the medicine, and her husband is standing there with basically the whole side of his face smashed in, guts hanging there. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
Super graphic. Fantastic. And then a knife in his gut, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. And she said, with just the most, seemingly unmoved, response, she's like, "I didn't want to do this," or what?
She said, "I didn't want to F your day up."
Yeah, that's right. Oh, she did say that.
Yeah, I don't want to F your
Your
day up.
memory's
more
better than
it
me on
is.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
And I'm thinking, you already killed her husband. You already F her day up.
yeah,
come
and then
on,
so
man.
she pulls the gun on her, right? Oh no, she had
she
the
pulled
knife
the
on.
knife
The
out.
knife, and she's like, so we're gonna go. What did you say? Is there somewhere you can lock
She
yourself
said,
up?
"Somewhere I can lock you up."
Yeah.
At first she said, "I'm going to
Tie
tie
you
you
up.
up."
Yeah. Do you have any rope or
Oh,
whatever?
whatever.
And then she said, "You got chains in this doomsday shelter."
Yeah, and she said, well, "Do you rather be tied up or do you rather be locked up or
Right.
something?"
All right, and then she said she had what she needed in there. So anyway, they go outside, and then she does a smart thing. She bolts as soon as she has the chance.
Yes.
Because the serial killer,
killer.
the guy hunting her, is coming into view, and so she bolts, takes her opportunity, and then the electric lady is her name. It's funny. I wondered why in the cast credits or whatever it said the lady. It said the lady, only said the lady in one. They didn't even want to give it away in the cast credits because if you said the electric lady, it's like, that sounds like, anyway. So she's the electric lady, the infamous serial killer, right?
I guess so.
The prolific serial killer that they were referencing in the beginning.
Because I'm assuming your boy was an undercover ranger, maybe?
Yeah, he was an undercover. I couldn't quite tell the badge. It was either a deputy or a ranger.
Yeah, it was a star. I'm assuming he was a ranger.
It was a ranger, yeah.
Had
Yeah,
to be.
because they came. It was rangers that came.
Yeah.
Because he called a fellow ranger when he, needed help. And so...
Oh, that part was funny.
Oh, yeah, that was so funny. Everything from that point on was just gold.
Yes.
It was so gold. Ever since you found out the twist and you found out that the guy was not the serial killer, that she was, it was like, you're like, oh my God, what the hockey puck just happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, man, that was, wow. So, okay, so what did you think about, what I loved is I loved that there weren't many cuts in some of these sequences, which made it made it feel more authentic.
Yeah.
And that entire set piece with the deep freezer, that whole scene from the time that he's like holding her at gunpoint while she's handcuffed to her finally revealing she's got the can of bear spray.
Which is funny because they mentioned earlier. She said, "You guys got any guns in the house?" "No, we have some bear spray."
She had that bear spray.
I guess for the Sasquatches.
Oh, no. they didn't have it for the bears at all. They had it for the Sasquatches. Oh, that was great, man. Oh, gosh. Oh, this is so funny. I mean, it's got all the good stuff in horror, the good comedy in horror, too.
And then she bit his carotid artery.
Oh, that was brutal. So she sprayed him, so he has to come over to her to stop her from spraying him more, and then she takes that opportunity, bites the freaking mess out of that carotid artery.
Yes.
That was so
brutal.
Man, and what's crazy? I felt that. I don't know if you know this or not, but
Oh man.
Did you ever know? You don't know what happened there?
Mm-mm.
Well, that's a story for another time. But I got stabbed in the neck,
Oh Lord.
and what stabbed me in the neck, it stopped right on the surface of my carotid artery.
Oh.
I was that close to dying. I think they said it was either a half a centimeter or a quarter of an inch. I don't remember. It was real close to it. I don't even know my measurements anymore. Who cares about math?
I mean, the only reason I knew what that was is because I used to, do jujitsu. So
Oh, so it's a good spot to
choke somebody out, but
big time. Yeah, cut that blood flow off.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's crazy. Maybe that, but I felt that in the scene because I'm like, ooh, I know that hurt. I know that hurt. And so so that was insane. And so, but what was cool, that entire set piece from the beginning of that scene to where she literally, I don't believe it cuts from the time that it shows her hop out of the freezer to the time that she's able to pull him close enough with her foot.
Yeah.
That was amazing. And she was doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wondered how many takes that took.
Probably a lot. Looked tiring.
It looked very tiring, but that was incredible, man.
Because he's like a heavy guy. Look like he about 200 pounds. So
Yeah. And
she is lightweight. So
I just loved the part. I loved the part where the Rangers finally come because he had called help prior to that scene. Okay. And the Rangers finally come and the guy, I don't care if this sounds sexist. I'm just stating what happened in the film. If you want to call this part of the film sexist, really what I think they were doing was they were kind of, I guess, doing a treatise on, a joke, making a mockery of, the whole sexist thing.
Shove it, woke people.
Yeah, it was funny. They were making a joke about that. It was great. And so basically they come in, the lady ranger, she's like, we got to do everything we can to help the victim. She's the victim because she'd pulled her pants down just enough to make it look like it was a rape.
Yeah.
So it'd still be up for grabs. Who's the victim here? And he's dead, but she's created a thing. She couldn't do anything because she was a cuffed up to the deep freezer victim who got raped. And so she took her opportunity to defend herself and end him by, biting off his freaking carotid artery. And so that's what she's thinking. But he's thinking the whole time, looking at it, wait a second, we need to examine this. This doesn't look right. But she's thinking, she's victim. She's pro-victim, right?
Yeah.
And he listen, he tried to caution her and them every step of the way. But he finally gave in because you know how persuasive Rangers can be. Or
Yeah.
Anyway. And so
I mean, you could say it, man.
Women are persuasive. That's not anything, anti-feminist or sexist. It's just women are very persuasive. We're not going to talk about that. I'm not going to give some dissertation about it.
Because he was like, we got to do it by the book.
Yeah. He was by the book, and that would have been the right choice.
Because he pretty much looking like I knew this guy forever.
Yeah.
And he would never do something like this.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And he was like, we got to do it by protocol.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, we got to get, let's call it. And I think what got him, she said, if you're responsible for her dying.
Oh, yeah, that's what got
him.
So he was thinking about that. He did not want that on his hands or his conscience. And so, they uncuff her. They put her in the back of the Ranger truck. I think it was a Bronco, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a nice truck.
That was really cool. I like that. And so she's in the back, and then lo and behold, you see this crazy lady in a white nightgown running out of the brush into the middle of the road. So they got to stop and see what's up with this crazy lady. And she comes up to the window and she's saying everything that happened. She killed her, and she killed her husband, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
She. So they're hearing it. And then they immediately figure it out, but not before she's in the back seat. She's already got 2 guns.
Yeah.
She had 2 guns, right? Yeah. She shoots her dead center, middle of the forehead.
Wait, did she have 2? No, she didn't have 2 guns yet.
She ended up getting their guns, and she had 3 guns.
Yeah, and then the guy looked at her and said, "You stupid
Yeah, that was the funniest
Yeah,
part.
he
You
said,
stupid
he said,
bitch.
I told you. I told you.
That was his first reaction. He's
He
thinking,
said,
I should.
He said, I told you.
I told you.
He said, I should let her shoot you. Should let her shoot you because of that.
Yeah.
And she
Did he
was
say
like,
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot
Yeah.
that.
And then she said, well, if I shoot her, then I'm going to shoot you right after.
That's right. So yeah, you need. Yeah, and she's like, after what you did for me, I do not. I said, I sincerely, genuinely do not want to kill you.
Yeah.
And so you're still trying to figure out what's the rhyme or reason to her killing people. So she instructs him to don't keep his hands on the steering wheel, don't move it, don't move a finger, or you're dead.
Yeah.
And then while they're driving, he just starts interrogating her, really finding out or inquiring. So why do you kill people? What do you do? Blah 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 blah. And then she said something, and that's what I whispered to you. She said, "I see devils."
Yeah.
And then I remembered. If you remember, it was a callback to chapter 2 when it was in between their role play in the hotel.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. She's making that weird face.
She made that weird face all of a
It's
sudden,
like, I got something on my face.
but it showed the flash.
Yeah.
And it was too quick of a flash. It was too quick of a flash for you to really make it out, but it was a red and black flash. And it was obviously a devil in that. I bet if you were to freeze it and do it frame by frame, I bet it's a very scary picture.
Maybe it's a PSA saying that don't do drugs.
Yeah, totally.
Don't do drugs.
Because she got him on ketamine and he had to reverse it with coke. That was wild, man.
She must have been high off her ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the point there was she knew then. She made that look. And that's when she knew, okay, I have to kill this devil. So clearly, and this was our takeaway, our ultimate takeaway, and you and I are on the same page. She's seeing devils because she's so damn full of devils, right?
Yeah.
So she's like, and she's thinking, I gotta kill devil. I mean, she's so demon possessed. It's unbelievable. Like,
I mean, just look at her in the car.
I mean,
I'm
her
pretty sure that was weed.
Oh
You're
God,
drinking beer. She was drinking. It looked like to be Jack Daniels.
she was going ham.
Snorting coke.
She was going ham.
Of course, she's seeing devils.
Oh my God, it was so great. Oh my goodness, man. Let me tell you, that was phenomenal. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, I guess we might as well spoil the rest of it. So she ends up, so the conversation ends, back to chapter 6, or is it epilogue? It's epilogue territory now. We're in the epilogue now. And so, the ranger stops grilling her and then, gets that information about seeing devils. And then he looks at her one more time in the rear view. And that's when she had the flash of him as a devil. Shoots him. And I loved that shot, that overhead shot of the camera.
Yeah.
And then you hear the gunshot and you see the blood splatter on the windshield.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was brilliant. I loved it. Very effective. I don't love that he died. I'm not saying that. I don't rejoice in that.
Yeah.
I mean, or do I? Well, I mean, it was good for the story. So yeah, I rejoice. Just kidding. Anyway, so then from there, what happens? She gets out of the car,
and then a Native American woman pulls
That's right.
up and she asks her for help.
Yep, and she falls on the ground, does her whole acting thing again, and then
She
you know
puts her
what?
in a vehicle.
She was pro-gun. That lady was prepared.
Yeah, and it looked like she may have saw a devil in herself because she was looking in the.
That was it. That was
side mirror.
huge.
Yeah.
Man, dude, how poetic was that? I think that was when she finally saw that. That fits my analysis of her being full of the devil.
Yeah, I think like the whole movie is kind of about faces because in the beginning, if you take the beginning when the movie first starts,
Shots of her face. Yeah.
And then in the end, shots of her face.
Listen, and I'm going to tell you right now, the shots in this entire movie were amazing. And I have to comment on this, okay? Because Giovanni Ribisi, great actor. He was actually one of my favorites for a while. He's an actor, and you actually know him well. Even though we know you don't know names, you're gonna know this face. So, but he was actor turned cinematographer in this film. He did all the cinematography. I mean, and I'm telling you right now, he created a masterpiece. That article that I'm stealing, you know, the description from.
Yeah.
He created a modern horror masterpiece with the shots. He did so good. And I mean, just from the way it started to the shots he chose, you were so right about that. The faces, the focal point being the faces and the expressions. And they told the story of the film, and it was so great. And so I really liked that he did that, and I'm glad he chose to do that. Especially that in overhead shot, and then her being in the passenger seat, and she looks in the mirror. Did she see herself as the devil before the lady shot her or after?
I don't think she's seen herself, but it was kind of putting emphasis on it because it felt like she was pulling the gun out to kill herself.
I think she was.
That's how I felt.
But she saw herself. She saw the flash of the devil of herself in the side view mirror, right?
Like I said, I really don't know. I just know she looked in the mirror for a while, then she pulled the gun out like, I'm a devil myself. That's what it seemed like. I'm not sure.
Well, you didn't see the flash because it showed another red flash.
It might have.
It did. Well, I mean, so much happened so fast we couldn't remember and capture all of it. You remembered more than me.
Yeah, because
maybe
maybe they were trying to keep it vague.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Where maybe she saw the lady in the driver's side as a devil, or maybe she saw herself as a devil, and I guess it's left
maybe
up for
the
us.
freaking mirrors were the devil.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're leaving it, throwing it up in the air, leaving it vague.
Yeah, that's true.
But
maybe the glove compartment was the devil. Was she looking at that too? Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, inanimate objects can be the devil. You know, that's why I love when they don't work for me. I call them stupid. I call them dumb.
That's that episode of the Twilight Zone. You ever seen that one?
Oh yes, they get possessed.
All the machines
All
alive.
the machines. Oh yeah, it's great.
The car was chasing the guy.
Oh man, that's why I love like Christine and Maximum Overdrive. You know, did you know that Maximum Overdrive, which is a little known '80s kind of, I'd call it a comedy horror film, but it was a horror film, but it became very comedic. It was the first and last directorial attempt by Stephen King.
Yeah,
he directed Maximum Overdrive, and that was interesting. Anyway, that was a sidebar. All of that was extra.
But like I said, I think he probably just leaving it vague, or
I think he is too.
Yeah,
I think he is too.
But like I said, in my opinion, like you said, she's the devil.
Yeah. Absolutely. And listen, she was crazy as hell, and she played that part so well. Thank you for giving us that work of art. It was very enjoyable. And to come back to what I was saying, listen, Giovanni Ribisi, you know him. I know you've seen Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
We're fans of Nick Cage, our boy Nick Cage,
yeah, I've seen that.
His younger brother that he had to bail out.
Okay, yeah.
Remember him? You've seen him in tons of movies, right?
Yeah.
Giovanni Ribisi, loved him in The Boiler Room. If you've never seen The Boiler Room with him and Vin Diesel and Ben Affleck, listen, I'm putting that on I'm writing it down right now. Listen, I'll remember to tell you about that.
All right.
If you've never seen The Boiler Room, great movie. Great movie on finance, dirty finance, investment gurus and con men. Listen, it's so great, man. And Nia Long is in it too. She's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, he had a little Nia Long fever in that movie. Listen, it was great. But he's been in tons of stuff, man. The Other Sister. He was in that series on Amazon Prime. I think it's called Sneaky Pete. Yeah, Sneaky Pete. He takes on the identity of somebody else. Anyway, I'm getting off in the weeds, but Giovanni Ribisi cinematography on Strange Darling, phenomenal. So, look, we hope you that came back and heard the spoiler part of this conversation, we hope you enjoyed the movie as well. And for those of you that watched straight through because you're stubborn and you wanted to be spoiled, well, you're welcome.
Well, they say most people enjoy things when they're spoiled. They enjoy it more.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that?
No. I mean, maybe some people do, but for me, I want the full, authentic, vulnerable experience of taking the film at face value, not knowing anything about it. Man, when I was young, I was all about trailers. I wanted to see every trailer. I would play, if I could press play and choose to play trailers over and over again, I would do it. It was that. Unfortunately, that was in the days of VHS and DVD.
VHS sucked. You had to rewind
Yeah.
the
Oh
tape.
my gosh. And then they get worn down, and then you got to do tracking.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, those days were something else. So, but I love trailers. But as I've gotten older, this is what I'll do. I don't know if you've done this at all, but I'll start to watch a trailer of something. And don't get me wrong, there are certain movies that I want to see the trailer all the way through because of the type of movie it is, and I have certain expectations with it and certain, qualms or whatever, but I want to watch the whole thing. But most trailers nowadays, if I start watching it and I can tell in the first 15 or 20 seconds, oh, I'm going to like this, I stop it. I won't watch any further. Because I don't even want to see it give away. You saw 2 trailers tonight.
Yeah, they're giving everything
They're
away.
giving everything away.
Yeah, like the AI trailer.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I mean, it looked like a good movie, but it's like you don't give the whole movie away unless they try to twist it and make it seem like somebody was controlling the AI. But as far as I know, the AI is evil and ain't no point in watching the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've seen and honestly, you saw. I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't be good, but it was that was the typical rundown and trope of the machine, the AI going evil. We've seen it before, really, and I like the idea if you can do a little different iteration of it and introduce some originality. But I'm not going to enjoy it if you do like they did in the trailer and give a big bulk of it away.
Now, I think the original AI movie, and I'm probably wrong, but I remember that AI, like the Smart House movie. You remember that one?
How old was that? Was that an 80s movie?
I don't know when this came out, but it was like Smart House.
It was called Smart House?
And
was it called Smart House?
I don't know what it was called, but the Smart House took over. You know what I'm saying? I guess it kicked the dad out.
Wait a second. I know this movie you're talking about.
And that's what it kind of reminded me of.
We should start a segment called Guess This Plot. Or guess this movie, and you describe the plot, and then you have to get it. Because right now, I want to guess this because I know I've seen it. Yeah. The house kicks the dad out?
Yeah. The house kind of like wanted to be their mother, I guess. Dang, what was the name? I don't know. This was Disney movie? I can't even remember.
I've seen this movie, man.
You did. Everybody's seen this.
Oh, my gosh. People at home, if you know the movie, drop it in the comments section. We're slipping here, and we're tripping. And we're flipping to the next segment. I did all that off the cuff.
But a movie that everybody probably recognized, didn't do good in theaters, but it's a cult classic, probably Virus.
Virus?
You don't remember that?
I didn't see Virus.
Like a virus came from space, I guess from an alien spaceship, and they took over a ship on the ocean.
Okay.
And I guess these people was like trying to salvage the ship and all that. And the virus was making these little small robots and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
You never seen that?
No.
Check it out.
I'm going to check that out too, man. You're giving me some good recommendations,
really
man.
Good.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a cult classic.
So, let me see. How about okay, so we've had a long episode so far.
Yeah,
it's
I
been
feel
really
like
good.
We should just do this and then just jump into 6 Degrees.
Do which part?
Do this. Movies that are not what they say.
Oh yeah, you got your list too. Yeah, and then we'll jump into 6 degrees.
degrees.
You want to save scenarios for next time?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been going for a while.
Well, folks, we're gonna have a lot of fun with scenarios when we do introduce it. But as a kind of an extension of our discussion about Strange Darling, we wanted to talk about our favorite T.A.N.A.N.A films, like I said earlier. And so that means, things are not as they appear. And Strange Darling was the epitome of things not being what they appeared. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got mine. Let's hear some of yours.
Well, the one movie I really wanted to talk about is
The one you mentioned in the theater that you didn't give away?
Yeah, Donnie Darko.
Oh my gosh. Donnie Darko is it's a cult classic.
Yeah, I had watched it on Max when it was on there.
Were you not blown away by how weird it was?
Yes, and it was not as it's saying because it's like
the whole way through.
Yes,
you seeing the dark rabbit and
and then you find out okay, this is a guy he actually knew. He hit his girl, she died. He shoots him in the face, and the whole premise was just like
it was wild.
Yeah,
and you know why it became such a cult classic? Because at that time, like as far as psychological horror, like. Nothing like it had been done before.
Yeah.
So even though, and I got to be honest with you, and I'm not trying to lose fans here, I like Donnie Darko. I definitely didn't think it was a perfect film, but I did like Donnie Darko, and I give credit where credit's due, and I respect the authentic nature of it and it being different and whatnot. But I mean, the truth is, it got a lot of forgiveness, and because there were lots of parts in it that were very incoherent to me.
Yeah.
And that's where you were kind of like, what the F a lot.
That was pretty much the whole movie.
The whole movie, yeah.
What the
Yeah, exactly. And so, but yeah, Donnie Darko, that was one of them. It had you like thinking one thing, and then you're like, what the hell just happened?
So do you really know what the movie is about? Because I had to watch somebody explain it. They was pretty much saying he was I guess he was like a savior or something. Because you remember he had to be in the room.
Yeah. It's been ages, and I know it's on Max. I need to rewatch it, but I don't remember very much of it.
Yeah, so he had to be in the room when the piece from the flame fell in the room, and that would stop the black hole from forming, destroying the world. Stupid.
You just reminded me how bizarre it was. I don't even remember, man.
Yeah, it was.
Golly. And that may have been a time period too when I was like, doing a little bit of the dank, and you watching a movie like that.
I mean, the person that created the movie was on the dank.
He was definitely on it for sure, man. Golly. Okay, so let me tell you about one. Okay, did you ever see the film Tusk?
No.
Have you heard of it?
No.
Let me tell you something. That film is the epitome. I've said epitome a lot in this episode. Okay, that show, that episode, that film. I'm at a loss for words. It typified what it means to say holy shit. Okay, listen. All right, it's Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith. I mean, he's a brilliant director. He's done a lot of my favorite films: Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Jay and Silent Bob, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Jay and Silent Bob. Yeah.
Kevin Smith, and he's Silent Bob. That's Kevin Smith, by the way.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's a brilliant writer and director, as you know.
Oh yeah.
But he's typically known for. I mean, he did Cop Out with Tracy Morgan and Bruce Willis.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Was it Tracy Morgan?
Yeah, it was Tracy Morgan.
Oh my God, that was so hilarious. Sean William Scott in it too. Listen, so he's known for that, but then he started this. What is it? I'm not having words tonight. Y'all forgive me. He started this trend of experimenting with like a little bit of horror and just doing like dark thrillers. I mean, he did Red State first, which that was over the top. It just like shows the whole like insane cult and like killing people and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an excellent movie, especially if you like shocking horror like that. He did that, and it was just wow. And he did Tusk, and I'm gonna tell you why I got Tusk, because I looked at it. It was back in the days before major streaming, Redbox, and I saw on the Redbox screen this, picture of. It was just a poster, a red picture of Justin Long's eyes. Justin Long from Jeepers Creepers,
yeah,
great actor, and he's like got his eyes, and then you see like these tusks like underneath his eyes. It was so bizarre. And then it said a Kevin Smith movie. I'm like, I don't even know what the hell this is, but I'm sure as hell written it. Kevin Smith. I remember my thoughts.
Yeah.
And I got it. And dude, let me tell you, dude, I was like, what the shock and the twist. I mean, I hate to ruin it for you if you think you're going to watch it.
I'm watching.
Okay, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but listen, dude, things are not as they appear in Tusk. You got to watch this. I'll just tell you the premise without giving away the big shock. He's a podcaster, and he's got a friend who's like his partner. Is like his producer or whatever. Yeah. He's played by Haley Joel Osment, the I See Dead People kid in Sixth Sense. So, but Justin Long's character, the main podcaster, he goes out in the field, and he's looking to find a story, and he finds this thing about a guy, this old man staying in a mansion, and he calls the number, and the old man offers to do an interview, like he's this interesting character, and he's wanting to tell his story on a podcast. So Justin Long goes out to meet this old man, and I won't say anything else, but things are not as they appear. It's going to be more than a podcast that happens.
All right.
Listen, you got to watch it. Tusk.
Okay.
I'll find out what it's on, and you can check it out. At worst case, you can watch it on the app.
All right.
So Tusk, Things Are Not As They Appear. That's one of my favorite ones. Let me just get over a couple more. I'm just going to mention these. Surviving the Game with Ice-T. You got to watch that. We both seen Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
Definitely Things Are Not As They Appear. Oh my gosh, Cabin in the Woods. If you've not seen 2015's The Invitation,
No.
you need to watch it. The Invitation. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to give it away. It's phenomenal. This guy and his girlfriend or fiance, I don't remember if they're married or not, but they get invited. His ex invites him to a dinner party. And there's all their mutual friends there, and it becomes very strange, very fast.
When you mention that, I don't know if you got this one on yours. It reminded me of The Menu.
Oh my gosh! Listen, a lot of these films that I'm mentioning, they are like they're in the same subgenre of horror as The Menu.
Yeah.
Where like groups of people, however big or small, go into something under false pretenses, obviously, and with expecting one thing, and we as the audience are expecting one thing, and the next thing you know, it becomes something totally different.
Because that one was like a big WTF. Man.
Oh my gosh,
It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. But there were a lot of those movies. They call them what was it? It was Dine and Die. They call them Dine and Die movies. Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane. But other good T.A.N.A.N.A films, Green Room. Oh my gosh, phenomenal. A Perfect Getaway. The Game. If you've never seen The Game, it's one of David Fincher's earlier films. One of my favorite of his. I told you David Fincher, who did Gone Girl, Fight Club, The Killer, Mank. Listen, David Fincher is one of my favorite directors. You need to see The Game. It's what started it all, and it's also a movie that I'm going to bring up to you when we do scenarios. Phenomenal. And then you and I both know Jordan Peele's masterpiece, Get Out.
Yeah.
I mean, quintessential. Things Are Not As They Seem.
I will also put Nope on mine.
Oh no! Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
And he did a really good job of doing the whole magician's prestige twist and turn in that film. It was phenomenal. I got a couple more that you should see. We both talked about Escape Room, phenomenal. Secret Window, Nocturnal Animals. I'll tell you the one I'll talk about, and I'll stop. I won't take up any more time. You might want to say a couple more things, but The Game by David Fincher. So it's this very rich businessman who's accomplished quite a lot. Okay. He's a very austere, seemingly ambivalent man, very unrelatable, just very cold. And you could tell you could see different flashes of the past, the way his father was. It kind of indicated that his father committed suicide. And so it gives you these flashes that let you know, it kind of explains why he's such a cold, like a non-companion type of person. Am I explaining that type of person to you well? But he's very successful. He's that type of person who's driven, who can accomplish a lot in business because he doesn't care about you, doesn't care about your feelings, right?
A capitalist.
Yeah, he's definitely a capitalist for sure. And he, but listen, you want to talk about humbling a capitalist and making him appreciate life again? Let me tell you, that's what happens. He's got a younger brother played by Sean Penn, and his younger brother gives him a gift for his birthday. And he's like, "What do you give a man who has everything and who doesn't really want anything from you anyway?" So he basically pled with him to accept the gift, and it's a very unorthodox gift, and it's through this company called CLR, and I don't mean the chemical that they sell on the infomercial. Was it calcium, lime, and rust?
Yeah.
It's hilarious. And so, anyway, CLR is the name of the company, I believe, and he gives him a subscription to, or a membership of, or a thing with this company called it's a game. And he basically pitches it to his older brother. Sean Penn pitches it to him as something that is for it's like people who are due for a lifestyle change or a reboot or a refresh or a rejuvenation. And you go into this company and they do all these studies on you, psychological tests, physical tests. They gather all this information so that they can tailor make a game for you. But he still doesn't know what the game is. You don't know. All you know is when it starts. They kind of let you know, but you don't really still know what to expect.
Okay.
So that's all I'm going to tell you. That's the premise. Then a bunch of stuff happens with the game, out of the game, within the game. You really don't know. All I'm going to tell you is it gets balls to the walls insane, and things are not as they appear. They're not as they seem. And I'm telling you right now, it'll keep you freaking guessing all the way to the end. You're like, is this real? Is this not? I mean, it's freaking so good. And David Fincher hit a home run with that movie. It is not a perfect film, but it is as close to one as it gets, in my opinion. Have I sold you?
Yeah.
Okay, watch the game. And ladies and gentlemen, and guys and gals, everybody, if you have not seen the game, check it out. Anyway, do you have any more that you'd recommend as far as your favorite things are not as they appear?
I don't know if I recommend them, but they the type of movies, like you said, Get Out, Ghost Ship.
Oh, Ghost Ship. Oh, my gosh. Ghost Ship was a big one, man. Let me tell you.
Cabin in the Woods, Ready or Not, Nope.
Ready or Not. Oh, my God.
The Circle. You got to watch that one on Netflix.
You told me. I added it to my list when you told me.
I already said Donnie Darko, The Barbarian, Training Day, because it was not.
Oh, Barbarian that we talked about that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That movie was so good.
But I put Training Day on here because it was not as
Dude, Training Day, I would never have guessed that. That's the perfect things are not as they appear.
Sixth Sense, Total Recall. I know you don't watch animated films, but Coraline.
You know what? People have recommended Coraline to me for years, and I've never watched it.
Classic. I watched it like 5 times already.
Is it really that good?
It's that good.
Okay, I'm watching Coraline. I'm done being a stubborn a-hole about that.
The Orphan.
The Orphan.
Yes.
Your list is better than mine.
The Thing. I didn't put Old on here, but that's another one.
Oh, my God. I thought of Old, and I forgot to put it on the list.
Yeah.
That is a great one. Wouldn't you say M. Night Shyamalan, his movies are the epitome?
Yeah.
Epitome. God. They are absolutely, I mean, they're the type of films that like are, they signify things not being as they appear, for sure.
That movie caught us all off guard. You know, we think, okay, yeah, the beach making people old, but you find out that this whole drug company trying to figure out how to use drug. What was it about?
Okay, so yeah, this company, what it was they found out that the island there was an anomaly within a certain part of the beach.
Yeah.
Something was happening within the rock formation, within the rock gorges surrounding the beach, and the border went all the way to the coral, which is why the kid kind of gave him a hint. My uncle doesn't like the coral. Yeah. Because if you could get past that boundary line, you can get away from the effects.
Yeah.
But they found out this. I don't know if it was they were a pharmaceutical company that were posing as, hosts of this resort.
No, there was a pharmaceutical company because he said we can test drugs.
Yeah, they were pharmaceutical
on people, like if they try to cure cancer.
Yeah, they were using the anomaly on the island to test drugs. They were basically sacrificing people to make medicine.
Yeah.
They were doing it was the quintessential do the end justify the means. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, yeah, and they were totally doing it.
But that's a good twist, though.
That was an amazing twist, dude.
I would have never seen that.
I loved that film. I thought it was fantastic. It's so crazy, too, because it came on the TV when I was in the hospital a couple weeks ago, and I had already seen the movie, but I was so into it again. Listen, I was suffering, dude. Let me tell you how much I was suffering. Forget the appendix. Yeah. I was having to watch a damn movie with commercials. I forgot how good we had. Listen, we are spoiled. I'm telling you, I was so glad to get home and watch streaming again with no commercials. Anyway, but I had already seen the movie and it came on again, and I was like, I was so into it again. I got until it was still like, there was only like 30 minutes left. I had to watch it. I had to watch it from the halfway point to the end again when I got home. I mean, I forgot how good it was. So good. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our portion of Things Are Not As They Appear. Those are a lot of those movies are worth checking out. I think we were able to tell you which ones were recommendations for sure. And I got one more to add to close it out. A little hat tip to Ari Aster. If you've not seen Midsommar,
What it's about?
I'm not going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you right now. You need to watch it, Mike.
All right.
You need to watch it. It is so shocking, and it is so, like, I mean, it is. I don't really know how to describe it, man. I'm just going to tell you, it's nothing in it is as it seems. It gets crazy, and he's really good at it. His movies are disturbing. If you've never seen, I take it you haven't seen Hereditary either.
No.
Oh my gosh. Oh goodness.
Shoot, I'll be watching movies for days.
Yeah, that's true.
All these recommendations.
I know, right?
I mean, I can.
You're probably watching even more since we've started this podcast, right?
Yeah, I can.
Listen, I'll only, the ones that I overemphasize, those are the ones that you should really give the time to. The ones that I say, look, I really recommend you see this, and I emphasize it, you'd want to do that for sure.
I mean, I've been gaming a lot lately, so.
I think I was going to ask you that. I figured you were gaming more than watching. That's okay. I give you homework every now and then, and you can do it. So,
you got to pick up that Metroid Prime, though.
You know what? That's my homework.
Yeah.
You told me that.
Check it out, man.
I got to get it on the Switch. You can download it, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna download it on the Switch. I haven't picked up a controller in forever. I mean, I've been diving headlong into movies. The cinematic journey has just gone even further for me the past few months. I'm loving it. And listen, folks, if you're a fan of the Real Cine-Files, go far on this journey with us. I mean, golly. Okay, so we're gonna close this. It wouldn't be an episode of the Real Cine-Files without closing it out with some 6 degrees of cinematic celebrities. Listen, we want you to get a full explanation of this segment. Look at our previous video. You can look at the banner on it. It explains it. 6 degrees. It says exclusive by RCF. Check it out. It explains this fully, but it's a spin-off of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's simple. You can connect what I'm positing is that you can connect any actor to any other actor that have never played in anything together simply by connecting them by using other actors in other films that they've played with. And you do it in 6 connections or less, 6 degrees or less, no cross-generational stuff. It's got to be doable. And we're going to do it. I can do it in under 5 minutes, okay? 4 minutes is satisfactory. 3 minutes is masterful status. 5 minutes, we will let you get by without being murdered for not being able to do it.
Now let them know about the cross-generational thing. Like
the cross-generational?
Like
okay.
Robert Downey Jr. played Charlie Chaplin.
Okay, exactly. All right. So what I was saying was the cross-generational thing is you can't connect, as you can imagine, you can't connect Charlie Chaplin to like Robert Downey Jr., stuff like that. Or you can't connect him to Ed Harris, okay? Because it's too many generations between. However, you can connect them. You can do it if, in certain cases, you can use like a film that someone plays the person that you're trying to connect them to, or within a certain movie, there is a scene or movie playing from one of those old films that has one of those old actors. That's the only way that you can do the cross-generational thing. Otherwise, you need to keep it from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. It's got to be that way, doable. And as long as you pick the actors from that, and the attempt, what Mike's attempt in challenging me is to find two actors that have never played anything together. Sometimes it's hard. What we did on the episode was the last one we did was Anne Hathaway and Cate Blanchett.
Yeah.
And and he ended up connecting that one himself, which was great. But what we missed, and it was eluding me, was that they did play in a movie together, and it kept bugging me because I knew it in the back of my mind, but I didn't figure it out until later until after the segment, and they did. They played together in Ocean's 8. So every now and then there will be a case where they play together, but I get extra points if I can think of the movie immediately that they play in. So I want to be on top of my game, trying to keep my edge sharp. Let me demonstrate this to you guys. And before I do, let me remind you, please like, subscribe, and share. We hope you loved the episode. We had a great time doing it. And hit the notification bell. That way you'll know every time we got new videos, new content, new episodes. But in the process also, if you want to challenge us, drop it in the comments. We could actually make arrangements to be challenged during an episode. Message us, comment, or email us at therealcinefiles@gmail.com. TheReelCinefiles. Spelling bee champion, not. But yeah, email us there, put in the subject line, challenge or 6 degrees, and I will not look at that email because I want to be challenged fresh. I pride myself on this stupid game. And so, but you could also email, like I've said, email Mike. If you don't trust me on the honor system, email Mike with the challenge. I want you to try me. You think you could try me? You talking to me? Listen, email him, Mike Griff, MikeGriff 21 @gmail.com. Email Mike, put in the subject line, challenge or 6 degrees. And I will demonstrate it. He will have that challenge, and he will give it to me on the next segment or episode. Now, I've said enough. I hope you're still with us. It's been a great time. This is going to be an even greater time. I'm about to do this. He's setting the timer. What are you setting it for?
I'm going to do 5.
Okay.
It's for the visual.
For the visual. And you're going to put it right there so they can see it?
Yeah.
Awesome. I think the sound's on. I had it on. I tested it earlier.
Okay.
So I don't need 5. Okay, I don't need 5, but he's setting it just in case I need the extra time. But we're going to look at it when I get it so I can see just how fast I do it. What you got for me?
Okay. Ron Perlman and George Clooney.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know if they've been in the movie together. Google be acting up.
What's been acting? Oh, yeah. Well, if I can guess it, that would be even cooler. Is it Ron Perlman and George Clooney?
Yeah, Ron Perlman and George Clooney.
Okay. I got this. Which way do I want to go? Man, he's been in some good movies. George Clooney.
Yeah, you say you wanted support in that.
Yeah, no, this is good. This is really good. Let me think on this. All right, George Clooney. Man, let's see. I got some options here. Oh my God, I'm so good. Okay, let's see the timer. Just check it real quick. See how quickly I got it.
But like 1 minute passed.
Okay, so I only did it in a minute. That's how good I am, folks. And I hope that this braggadocious display makes you want to challenge me. Let me show you how I got this, okay? Let me do this for ya. George Clooney was in a little movie, you may have heard of it, called Ocean's 11. I was pointing at Kill Bill for a second. Ocean's 11 or 12 or 13, whichever you choose. I don't care. For the purposes of this, I'll say Ocean's 12, okay? With a character named with an actor named Matt Damon. Okay?
Matt Damon.
He was in a character. What's wrong with me? Gosh, I'm tired. We're doing this so late. We saw the movie.
Actor.
Huh?
Actor.
Yeah, actor. Okay. George Clooney was in Ocean's 12 with Matt Damon. Matt Damon was in a movie that just came out that you should check out. It's not a great film, but it's good and it's worth watching. On Apple TV, it's called The Instigators. Matt Damon was on that film with Ron Perlman, who plays a dirty politician. He plays a crooked, corrupt mayor, and it's actually quite a hilarious role. And there's some good humor in that movie, too. Matt Damon stars in that film with Casey Affleck and Hong Chow. She's phenomenal. She plays the therapist, and she ends up giving therapy to Matt Damon and Casey Affleck's character.
I checked your work. You're right.
Am I right?
Yeah.
See that, folks? I'm right. I did it right there.
And there go Matt Damon right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt Damon. If y'all want to check my math at home too, you can. That's how quickly it can be done. I want you to challenge yourselves. See if you can do this. It's like a parlor or party trick. It's fun. Tons of fun. All right. Sound of the beep.
Yeah, I just did that.
I guess we don't really have enough time for another one, but
You sure?
I'll do another one. Y'all want to see me do one more? All right. If they're still here, they're going to watch to the end. I'm going to do one more. It just wouldn't feel right if we didn't do two. If I didn't do two on one of our episodes. We've been gone a while, guys, so we're giving you extra content. It's all free anyway.
All right. Idris Elba and Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay. Idris Elba and Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne.
I like this. That's good. That's good. That's good. I think I'm gonna go with Idris Elba's been in a lot of stuff, and so has Lawrence Fishburne. Okay. Idris Elba was in... Man, he's been in a lot of movies. He's a great actor. Okay. I'm thinking I'm going to do... Idris Elba was in... With... Okay, Lawrence Fishburne was in... Okay, I'm gonna try this. All right. Lawrence Fishburne was in... Lawrence Fishburne was in Passengers with... Oh, I got this. Lawrence Fishburne was in Passengers with Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence was in X-Men Days of Future Past with Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman was in Deadpool and Wolverine with... Okay, hold on a second. He was in Deadpool and Wolverine with... Oh, yes. He was in Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, you're going to love this. With Chris Hemsworth. Because you remember Chris Hemsworth was in that scene.
Thor.
On the TV screen.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Using my loophole. And we all know that Chris Hemsworth was in Thor with Idris Elba, who played Heimdall. Am I right?
All right, let me see. Deadpool.
Check that math. You want to check all that math? Oh, man, that was a little bit more challenging, but I got it done, folks. I got it done yet again. Is it okay to feel so good about being so good at this?
Yep. Chris Hemsworth.
Got it all done. And I believe I did that in 4 connections. Yeah. That was 4 connections. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great time. Me, Mike, and I both had a good time. We're sporting some classic T-shirts, right? By the way, if you don't know about Large Marge, you better get with the program. Pee-wee's Big Adventure from the 80s.
Great movie. And
the original live-action Batman film from 1989. Sporting that. This isn't a part of our merch, but keep a lookout. We are going to have some merch very soon. We got some awesome new, logos and different branding ideas that we think you'll really like. You'll probably see one of our new watermarks in this episode. So look out for that. It's coming soon. But until then, check out this our future episodes and future segments. We're having so much fun doing this. We hope you are too. And until next time, go watch some movies. There's plenty out there. It's time for you to catch up. And we want you to have a sensationally cinematic time, or cinematically sensational time. I really should stop because I'm just going to keep closing this off with more and more awkwardness. But I could go farther. Would you like me to go farther? Or wait, should I go further? I call back to my lame joke from the beginning. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, you got anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, folks. We'll see you next time.